Okay, let's just dive right in. If you are sick and tired of all the hype and the crazy promises about making money online, and you're just looking for a real, no BS guide, you're in the right place. We're going to cut through all that noise and talk about what it actually takes.
And hey, it's totally understandable if you feel that way. The online world really can feel like a jungle, right? Everyone's shouting, trying to sell you their secret map to some kind of buried treasure. You're just getting bombarded with videos promising this easy money, but the reality, well, it feels a lot different. I bet these look familiar. Maybe you've even tried them. You jumped into dropshipping or you gave Amazon FBA a shot, only to figure out, wait a minute, this isn't nearly as simple as they made it sound. You are definitely not alone. So many people start right here and get totally discouraged when the results don't just magically appear overnight. So here's the absolute truth of it. The problem isn't that these methods don't work. They do. The real issue, the one nobody talks about, is that every single one of them has a learning curve. They all take real commitment, real effort, and real time. So the question isn't which method works, it's which method can give you real results without you having to pour in a ton of money up front.
Okay, before we get to the actual methods, we have to talk about the biggest obstacle out there for everybody starting out, and that is the hype trap. This is where most people get stuck, lose their money, and honestly, just lose their motivation.
These words right here, these should be massive red flags for you. The second you see a course or a strategy promising that it's automatic or guaranteed or fast, you need to be skeptical. Real businesses are almost never any of these things, especially not when you're just starting out. And what about all those $1,000 courses? You know the ones. Well, here's the thing. Pretty much all the information they're selling you, you can find it for free with a couple of YouTube searches. Seriously, what you're really paying for is just having it all organized in one place, and maybe a little community support. But the knowledge itself, it's already out there.
So after all that, are the two businesses I'm about to show you totally automatic and guaranteed? Of course not. Just kidding. They take real work, but, and this is the key, they have incredible potential, and you don't need a huge pile of cash to get started.
All right, so let's get right into our first method, Kindle Direct Publishing, or as you'll see it, KDP. The core idea here is actually pretty simple. You create and publish books on Amazon's platform and think about things with high viral potential, like cool journals, coloring books, or maybe some kind of funny diary. Then, instead of spending a fortune on ads, you use the absolutely massive free reach of TikTok to promote them. And the process itself is a really clear, repeatable playbook. You set up your accounts, you create the book, and then you just commit to posting consistently on TikTok. The real key here is to see what works, what goes viral, and then you just replicate that formula over and over again. Okay, that's the strategy, but let's talk numbers. I mean, what could this actually look like in your bank account? So let's just run a quick scenario. Imagine you make a video showing off your new book, and it gets a totally respectable 100,000 views on TikTok, which, by the way, is very, very achievable when a video hits just right. Now, of those 100,000 people, let's be super conservative and say just 1% are curious enough to actually click the link in your bio and buy the book. Okay, that's 1,000 sales from one video. And if your net profit on each book is, say, $7, well, you do the math. That's $7,000 in potential profit, all from a single video that cost you nothing but your time to create. The potential is just massive. All right. Let's move on to the second method, which is, you could argue, one of the best online businesses you could possibly build today, becoming a YouTube creator. It's not just about the ad money, it's about building a real asset and a loyal community. Now, before we get into the how, we gotta demystify two terms you're gonna hear all the time. CPM is what advertisers pay to get their ads on videos. But the one you really care about is RPM. That's the actual revenue you get per 1,000 views after YouTube takes its cut. So for example, a finance channel might have an RPM of $20, while a gaming channel might be closer to $5. Understanding this difference is absolutely key. The launch plan is pretty straightforward. First, you pick a niche that you actually enjoy, but that also has some earning potential. Then, you go deep, researching your audience to really get what they want. Next, you create the full package. And this is so important. It's not just the video. It's the killer thumbnail and title that get the click, and the great script that keeps people watching. And finally, you publish and you watch that data like a hawk. So what's the secret sauce to making the YouTube algorithm fall in love with you? It really just boils down to these two things. A high click-through rate tells YouTube, hey, people want to watch this. And high audience retention tells YouTube, hey, this video is actually good. If you can nail those two metrics, the algorithm's job is easy. It just shows your video to more and more and more people. That's the whole game.
So we've covered two incredibly powerful methods, but the tactics, the step-by-step guides, that's only half the battle. The real work, the thing that will actually determine if you succeed or fail, is all in your mindset. You have to be crystal clear about your goal. If you're just looking for some side income to help pay the bills, you can probably handle everything yourself. That's fine. But if your goal is bigger, more ambitious, then you have to start thinking about delegating tasks to other people. It's the single best way to scale up and expand what you're doing. This right here is so important. Your path is not going to be a straight line. You are going to hit roadblocks. But every single time you push through a difficulty, you're not just solving that one problem. You're building new skills and awareness, which makes you so much better equipped to handle the next challenge. Failure is just data. It's part of the process. So as we wrap this up, the question isn't really which method you should choose. The real question is what you're going to do next. Whether that's creating that KDP account or just brainstorming your first YouTube video, every big journey starts with one single step over that first hurdle. So, what's yours going to be?